Hi everyone, this is Sai Fanindra from SQL School, and this short video is to help you with top and trending SQL interview questions. Come on, let's get started. Let's understand step by step some of the useful SQL interview questions to land up in our next dream job. Let's get started now. Let me launch my SSMS Management Studio, and for example, you have a database to be created called SQLSchool.com. I'll take it as question one. Question one, how to create a database with special character in between. For example, you try to create database like SQLSchool.com, you get error. Now, how do we resolve this error? There are two solutions for this from script. Yes, here it is. Answer one, create database and square bracket, you can give SQLSchool.com. This is one option. And other option we have, answer number two, for the first question, we can use double quotes. Of course, during creation of this database from user interface, no problem. You right click and new database, you directly say SQLSchool.com, it works no problem at all. But if you try to create database from script, you may see error. So for that reason, you have two solutions, either square brackets or double quotes. In our example, my answer one already created the database. So I'll show you this answer with a small change in the name, but same format. Now let's verify and see whether the database has got created or not. On my screen, you see the product database, SQLSchool.com database and SQLSchool2.com database. Next, okay, we are connected to the database. Now, what if you would like to verify which database we are connected to? In your interview, never mention about bottom right because it may not be the same screen every time. Sometimes we need to work with notebooks, scripts, ETL tools, or it can be any other expression editors wherein we need to write our SQL code. So how do you verify which database you are connected to? So question one is, how do you create a database with special characters? And I'm giving you two answers. Now, number two, in real world, how do you verify which database you are connected to? I repeat again, we cannot always mention like bottom right. This may not be the only editor at our job desk. We may see other editors like ADF Expressions, Visual Studio, Fabric Data Factory, Fabric Notebooks, or sometimes even Power BI Expression Editor, or we can also write SQL queries in Power Query Editor. It depends. Then how do you verify it? Yes, here it is. Answer for this question, select DB_name gives you the currently connected database name. Yes, I created SQLSchool.com database, but I'm yet to connect to it, right? Let's connect SQLSchool.com like this. Remember, the square brackets or double quotes mandatory. And once we connect, now here it is, select DB name, we get the correct output. Number three, question number three. If your interviewer asks you, especially if in case you have some experience on SQL and going for interview as a data analyst, data steward, or database administrator, or data engineer, or data modeler, or database tester, this question will surely help you a lot. Here it is. How many objects will be auto-created for below statement? Friends, these kind of scenario-based questions, ChatGPT or Google will not work. Trust me. Please give a try before you continue the video. How many objects will be auto-created for below statement? I am using SQL Server 2022. Any SQL server, same story, same concept, and same architecture. Here it is. I'll show you in a simple way. Here is a question. Say you are in an interview room and you have a question like this. And here I'll make it as primary key for our easy learning. and assume for some reason, this is given as unique and manager. Assume manager ID reference the same table. And we have one more, EMP sal of type float, and check EMP sal greater than or equal to say 10,000 or 1 lakh like this. Question again, how many database objects will be auto created for above state for this particular statement? The statement is fine. It got executed. Now the question, how many objects will be auto created? Yes, here is the answer. Firstly, we should be understanding what are all the possible database objects in Microsoft SQL Server, and out of those database objects, which objects will be created in response to this question, this query. And here is the answer. I know you are waiting for it. Here it is. Let me give you 2 levels of answers. This will be helpful if in case you are taking an interview to fill a position in your project. Yes, you might be seeing, my video may be reaching some recruiters, some managers, some leads, or someone who wanted to recruit some proficient SQL person in their project. Will be helping them a lot for sure. Don't forget to like and share the video, okay? And keep and stay tuned to get more such content from me. I love my SQL. Let me continue. Answer to the point straight now. Here it is. Let me give you 2 levels of answers. First level answer, I'll say level 1 answer here. Of course, one table, and because primary key is there, right? Yes, primary key is an object. So one primary key, and because of primary key, one index is created, right? Isn't it? We cannot miss it. Clustered index is created. So total 3 objects so far, plus you have unique. So because of unique, one non-clustered index is created, right? Here it is. I'm just going with the concept. So what's the object count right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus one foreign key. Foreign keys are also objects. I'll show you how to verify. That's our next question. We are going to verify this. This is our next question. How do you verify? We'll see. We need to have facts and proofs for every answer. Here it is. One more check constraint. Remember, friends, this is level 1 answer. A basic level concept we are learning now. Question is very straightforward and simple. How many database objects? One primary key, so one clustered index. Unique key, non-clustered index. You want me to show you this on my screen, friends? Let me show you first. Let's be clear in what we learned. I'll refresh and I'll go to my SQLSchool.com database and tables. Some of my text may be sometimes hidden behind my camera. Don't mind, okay? I'll make sure it is visible some way or the other. Just sometimes I may need to expand the object explorer left side. I'll minimize it as soon as possible anyway for better room for our visibility. On my screen, table ready. Yes, you have total 3 keys. Primary key, foreign key, unique key. How many indexes? One clustered, one non-clustered. Foreign key does not create any indexes by default. So see here, 2 indexes are created, right? So answer is total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 objects. And this is accepted for a fresher interview in general or 0 to 2 years. It can be accepted, correct, perfect. But as we keep gaining more projects and more knowledge for our resume, our answer has to be improved. Yes, friends, the question remains same. The level of answer should match. The level of answer we provide in our interviews should match our experience, our exposure, and the content in our resume. Yes, I mean to say the level 2 answer. Level 2 answer can be 9. What does it mean? Yes, as we keep gaining experience in our SQL database environment, we come across a new friend called statistics. What are these? Statistics are internal objects. Most of the times auto-created, sometimes we create them manually. These statistics will be useful for faster column access, easier column access. Now, on my screen, over here, you right-click and refresh statistics, and see there, two statistics are automatically created. So I'll say one statistics for primary key and one statistics for unique key. Okay, so total 9 objects. So question remains same. The level of our answer should match our experience, our exposure, and love towards the subject. I'll continue the next question. Next question is, how do you verify the objects? Say you don't have user interface with you right now. As I mentioned earlier, Management Studio may not be the only interface to work with Microsoft SQL Server. We may have Visual Studio, Data Studio, Fabric Data Studio, Azure Data Studio, Azure, and we also have something called as ADF Studio, Fabric Data Factory, Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Studio, Visual Studio, and Power BI, Power Query Editor, etc. There are a lot of environments. So queries are safe, not the user interface. Now, how do we verify them? Let's see. So question number 4, I'll make it straight and simple. Question number 4, how do you verify the list of database objects or list of objects for a table? Friends, there is an actual reason for asking this question. If a table is dropped, or if a table is renamed, or if a table is experiencing some performance issues, we should know what all will be affected. Remember, database is just like our chemistry lab. Because of one problem, other problem may also arise. Yes, database is a big chemistry lab, and we can easily enjoy the fragrance if we experiment it correctly. Let me show you now how to verify list of objects for a table. Here it is. Usually select star from sys.objects. This gives you list of all objects in the database, in the entire database. Okay, here it is. This reports list of all objects in the database. Now, here we go. Our requirement. Sorry for the typo. And I'll make this script available for your download from our website. Will do. I'll be publishing all this script in our website so that you'll download it. You can also request me from this contact number, my number directly, just in case, anytime in future. Now, let me save it first, okay? Here it is. Okay, we got the list of all objects in the database. It's fine. But what's our requirement? How to get the list of objects from a particular table? Why we need it in our job work? Remember, friends, every interview question has a reason. We need to think out of the books. There will be a reason for every question. Here the question is, verify list of objects. Why? If you drop a table, what other objects will be dropped? If you rename a table, what other objects have to be renamed or altered manually? The dependencies we call dependencies. Here you go, sys.objects where, now the actual answer. Sys.objects where, here name equal to this particular employee details. Okay, this is our table name. Now, interestingly, we got only one object. What's our requirement? List of objects for a particular table. All dependent objects I wanted. Okay, here it is. Just to make it more clear now. But sys.object gives you one object. Now, here you go. What else? For example, if I say sys.objects where object ID equal to, see here, object ID equal to this object ID. Which object ID? Object ID of the table. Here we get again one item. But what's our requirement? How to report list of all objects for that particular table. Here it is. One more important thing. In sys.objects, see here. For example, where type equal to, see type is there, right? Type yes. And down you see something called, for example, PK. PK means primary key. Primary key has its own object separately. But its parent object is the object ID of the table. See here. So here, union. Okay. Union. Select from table name where parent object ID equal to this one. Now see here. We get the complete list of objects for that particular table. Wait. You get check constraint. User tables, foreign key, primary key, unique key, everything is happy. Fine. But what about the indexes? See there, friends, please be extra careful. We are learning for ourselves. Index is missing, right? Now, you can ask me, Sai, does sys.object, sys.object, doesn't it report indexes? Let's see. Sys.objects, friends, we need all these in our job work, okay? Sys.objects gives you list of all objects in our database, but not the indexes, For indexes, we have a separate item called sys.indexes. So again, union, select all from sys.indexes. Okay, this one gives you list of all indexes where for index, it has own ID. It takes the parent ID, nothing but the table ID only. Table ID or the underlying view ID, whatever object on which you create the index, that ID will be the parent ID automatically. I repeat, you create an index. The index you create on a particular table, that index has its own ID, ID 1, 2, 3, like this. The object ID is nothing but the underlying table or view ID only. So here, simply say object ID, this one. This is nothing but the table or the view ID. So now, here we go. It says, problem. All queries combined using union, intersect must have equal number of expressions. See, first two, no problem. It works. Third has a problem. No problem, no issues. Let's filter the columns. Star is not the correct process, right? Isn't it? As you know, we should not use star. We should not use multiplier all the times. Let's do it carefully now. What I'll do is, let's get into our actual solution. I'm explaining it, giving you the solution, okay? Let's understand it carefully. Name. I want name. List of all objects. Name. Okay, you get the name here. And what about this one? Here also I want to have name only. Okay. Next. From here, I want to have the name. This one, name. Let's get only name. See? Okay. Here are the IDs. Next. Here, one more thing. But small problem again. Sai, why only 5? We're expecting 7. Right. Yes. There we are. We already know it. Union all. You know. Union all gives you duplicates also if available at the source. You get them. And on my screen now, 7 is answer, question 3, and question 4 proves it. My task for you, how can you prove 9 for level 2? Friends, level 1 I said 7 objects, right? And you got all those 7 here on my screen. What about level 2, 9? If any one of you have some experience and you want to gear up for the next level, give a try and give your answer in the comment section of this video. I shall be replying you with an additional content information. I'll do for sure. Let's proceed for the next question. Here we go. Just to recap, okay, to help you, the recap option on my screen now. First question, we started slowly with creation of database. Then we learned how to verify the database. Select a DB name. Then we created a table, understanding what happens inside when we create a table. Yes, primary key is created, so automatically clustered index is created. Unique, non-clustered index is created. Foreign key, no index is created. References mean foreign key in Microsoft SQL. And we'll take a separate video only for understanding about the foreign keys and normal forms and data models. We'll try to plan a video shortly. Next, I'll note it down here so that I don't forget it. Okay. Yes, next. One more thing. Then we learned how to verify the list of objects. And I was showing you about 7 first level answer. This is a complete answer we have. Next. Okay. We learned how to get into the objects. Next. Let's understand one more common question. Number 5. How to, or simply say, can foreign key yellow null values? Please give a try. Just think about it. Think yes or no, think of it. Answer is yes. Let's verify it. Here, create table name, manager, references, same table employee ID, but employee ID is primary key. So in this case, answer is no. But I said answer is yes. Yes, regularly you can happily insert. Here it is, friends. Remember, I repeat again. Answer is yes and no. If we get this kind of question, we are supposed to give both answers and justify each of them. Let me tell you what I mean. Yes, you got a table with you and create table name, ID, name, manager, salary. 4 rows, say 4 columns. You try to insert null value into manager. Yes, as long as the manager ID column in this case on my screen, as long as it allow nulls, you can happily insert null, no problem. If the column is mentioned as not null, we cannot insert null value, no matter what. In our example right now, let's take for example here, insert into, before that, select star from table name. Things are very simple and straight. Just make sure you try to practice all this. Insert into table name. I got another interesting question in my mind in the meantime. How do you prove that not null or null is more powerful than primary key? You're aware of this answer. You can try to think about the next answer in the meantime. For others, let me continue. Insert into table name values. ID, I'll say 1001. Name, for example, Sai, I'm an employee. Manager, can foreign key allow nulls? Answer is yes. Why? Because in my case it is yes. Why? Because yes, usually foreign key values should be matching with the parent table. Null is an exception. Provided manager ID in our example is of type not null. Default is not null. The default is null. So here, provided is of type null. Let me show you. Connect to Object Explorer and right click a particular table and go to columns and next. Here you see, observe carefully, ID, name, manager, and flow like this. See, manager is of type null, right? It allow nulls, allow null value. It allow nulls, so no problem. Null and some salary value like this. It allow nulls. If in case I try to make it not null, then of course it does not allow null values. I mean, in SQL Server, it's very important concept here actually. In SQL Server, a foreign key can allow only values that matches its parent or null. Same way, a check constraint can allow any value that matches with its condition or null. What does it mean? For example, let me show you. There is a check constraint here, right? Salary value should be above, say 1 lakh or whatever. Value should be above 1 lakh, okay? Or null. Null has power. Either null or value should be above 1 lakh. Either null or value should be matching with the employee ID. That is the meaning here. I mean to say, friends, for example, see, insert into table name 1000. If I give, say, for example, like this, it won't work. Why? Check constraint. For example, I'll say Sai2 unique like this. Check constraint. But why? Because there is a check constraint on 1 lakh, right? If I give null, no problem. I mean, null or value should be above 1 lakh. Either null or value should be matching with the foreign key. That's the meaning here. Null has that power. Okay. And next comes, how do you prove not null constraint is more powerful than primary key? I want to give a proof, not theoretical. Give a try. What if we get this kind of question in our interview? In fact, there is a reason for asking this question, friends. Very recently, I was doing one exercise for one of our partners for Fabric Data Studio, and there is something called Data Flow Gen 2. In Data Flow Gen 2, we are loading some data into something called Lakehouse. Lakehouse in Fabric supports TSQL. There is something called SQL endpoint there in Lakehouse. And we got one error. We got error about primary key. And I was breaking my head. My God, everything is unique, right? Then it came to my mind, oh, constraint priority is important. We cannot get misguided just by seeing the errors only. Constraint priority chart is important. We are meeting there for the next video. And you try to please try to work on this question. Give a try. Answer the question on message in the comment below. And next video link will be sent to you in reply to your comment. See you there in the next video, and give a try for question number 6. And also, if you want me to make a video on any particular topic in SQL or Azure or Power BI, do let me know. Or even Fabric, I forgot to mention, do let me know. I'll surely try to do it and give it to you. Try to work on it. Make sure, friends, you try to work on every video, okay? I'm putting my effort here. I would request you also to put your effort and practice it. We'll stop now. I'll be sending you all this information through our website, this complete script. See you there in the next video. And please like my video. If you love to watch the next one, please give it a try. Thank you so much. See you there. Have a nice time. Thank you.